Greetings, fellow gamers. This is RazerEdge, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I come across this game called RimWorld. I will leave a link to the Steam store page in the description below. It's a little hard to describe. It's kind of like a city builder, but not really. And it's got a little bit of survival in it, but that's not the main focus. And it kind of presents itself as almost like a living story. I have all the settings pre-generated because trying to get the characters you want to get a good start on the game takes a little bit of time, and it's a lot of clicking, a lot of, okay, do I want this person, do I want that person, does this person have the skills that I need, does that person, how do they interact with each other, that kind of thing. So instead of boring you while you watch me click mindlessly and scratch my head and all that good stuff on camera, I decided to go ahead and get to this point and get the characters generated to give myself the start that I want. That being said, I will link in the description the settings for my game so that you can follow along if you'd like. With that being said, let's get started with it. So the basics of the game is we're going to choose 3 characters, and it's these 3 characters that are going to hopefully carry us through the whole game. Now, as we progress, we'll be able to add more people into our little colony, but that doesn't usually come right away. So what you want to try to get is a good mix of skills. They don't all have to be super perfect. They don't all have to be specific, but a nice little mix to try to make sure that all your bases are covered. Now we can see here my 3 characters are going to be Anna, who is a wandering healer, Emily, who is a mid-world chef, and Lenny, who is a Luddite rebel. I'll go over each of these one by one. That way you kind of get an idea of what I'm going to start with, and we'll progress. We'll start the game from there. So we're going to start with Anna. Anna is a female colonist of new arrivals, which is us. She's age 44, and she's a chronological age of 87. Now, what I'm going to assume that means, because, again, I really don't know everything about this game. I'm still trying to learn it. I've watched a few YouTube videos on this. I want to give a big shout out to a YouTuber named Ono Koho. He's on my featured channels. I reached out to him asking him for a little advice because, quite frankly, my colonies were dying fairly quickly after I'd start the game. I had no clue. I was watching his stuff and I just really wasn't getting it, so I reached out to him on Twitter. He responded back to me. He gave me some great advice. I tried it again using his advice, and I got off to a much better start than what I was originally doing. Right now we can see that she's incapable of any kind of violent act. So that means that she's not going to shoot, she's not going to hit, she's not going to stab, she's not going to do anything that resembles violence. That's kind of a good thing, and also kind of a bad thing. She's kind, which means she has a tendency to bring up everybody else's moods. She's volatile, which means she's usually the first one to suffer a mental break, so we kind of gotta have to pay attention to her moods and kind of stay on top of that one. And she has a chemical interest. That can really bite us in the end. But we're gonna make real sure that we keep control over whether we let chemicals in or not. Now, the reason why I'm not just booting her out completely because of the chemical interest and the volatile is because of her skills. Now, again, she's incapable of violence, so she has no shooting, no melee. She definitely does not fit under the construction or mining category, but she's got a 5 in cooking. Not too bad. She really sucks when it comes to handling plants. Animals, she's got a passion for. So we see this little burning symbol, which means if you look over here at plants, she learns at 35%. But with this little burning symbol, she learns at 100%. And she's at a 5. Crafting, she's at a 4, but she has a burning passion for crafting, which means she learns at 150%, and that's going to help us out in the long run. Artistic, okay, I haven't really gotten anything that deals with the artistic category yet, but maybe down the road we'll come across it. Medical, she has a burning passion for medical, and she starts out at a 14, which is phenomenal. That means she's basically going to be able to do close to an entire body replacement if absolutely necessary. She has a 12 in social, and she's interested in it, which means she's going to learn it 100%. And she's got a burning passion for intellectual, which is going to help us when we try to research. Next is going to be Emily. Now here we see she has no skills in shooting and melee, but she's got a 4 in her construction. She has a 2 in mining, and she's interested in it, so she's going to learn it 100%. She has a 10 in cooking, which means we're not going to get food poisoning. That's a blessing, I promise. She has a burning passion for plants, which is what really brings her out to the forefront, and she's already got a 9 skill level in it. Now these are all out of a maximum of 20. The rest of her skills are just kind of there. Crafting, of course, she really sucks at, and we're not going to ask her to do any of that. She also has an interest in social and intellectual. She's an undergrounder, which means she doesn't fear darkness. She doesn't need to be outside. She won't ever get cabin fever. She has bloodlust, which is really funny considering that she has no skill in shooting or melee, but she does have bloodlust. So she gets a rush from hurting people, even though she's actually not able to do that with her skill level. But she is 4 times as likely to start a fight socially. So all of your guys are going to socialize with one another. It's part of being a colony. And she's 4 times as likely to pick a fight with somebody as she is to just walk away. She's also jealous, which means she needs to be able to be impressed by her little bedroom or quarters or whatever you want to call it, and she wants hers to be more impressive than somebody else's. She's also incapable of dumb labor and cleaning. Now it's gonna kind of hurt us a little bit in the fact that she's not gonna be able to haul things or keep anything clean, but because of the 9 plants, the 10 cooking, the burning passion, and the interests, I can kind of overlook that. I say that, and it may end up biting us in the rear end later on. The next one is going to be Lenny. He's our Luddite rebel. The reason I've got him, he's an 8 in shooting, and he has a burning passion for it. He loves to shoot guns, and he wants to do it all the time, and I am okay with that. He's got a 4 in melee, but the 8 in construction with an interest in it. I am good with that. He's got a 4 in mining, but he has a burning passion for it, and the rest of his skills really aren't very noteworthy. But that's okay, because he's incapable of intellectual and crafting. We're not going to ask him to do any of those things. We don't want him for his brains. We want him for his raw talent in shooting and his ability to build things. He also has fast learner, which means he adds an additional 75% on top of his 150% for burning passion and 100% for interest. Unfortunately, he's greedy, which is going to be really funny because if you'll remember, Emily is jealous. She needs to have her bedroom more impressive than everybody else. And he's greedy, which means he has to have the most impressive bedroom. So I'm going to have to try to find a way to balance out to compensate for his greedy and her jealousy. So this should be very entertaining. I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to end up restarting, and if I do, that will be Season 2. So, be prepared, Season 1 may be fairly short. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick this baby into high gear. Alright, the three of you wake up from your crypto sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. That's never a good thing to wake up to. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Oops. Sometime later, you land in this unknown RimWorld. And what they mean by RimWorld is a world on the outer rim. So this is a sci-fi game. It's got that space travel element to it. And that's really what I find the most interesting about it is I'm kind of a sci-fi kind of guy. It says, as the pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Well, okay. You know what they say about the best laid plans. So let's get these guys moving around. Alright, so now they're out, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pause the game. Pausing the game just means basically stopping time for them. Now, I can still move around, I can still open windows, I can still put orders in and change priorities and all those kinds of things. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to start assigning work. I'm going to change it to manual priorities because I want to tell them how they should order things, not the AI. First thing I want is I want to change everybody's firefighting to a 1. What that means is in the event of a fire in our home area, which we'll get into home area a little bit later, everybody is going to stop what they're doing to go and put the fire out, or at least that's what they're supposed to do. Sometimes you might have to give them a little nudge. The next thing I'm going to prioritize is being a patient. I don't want them getting hurt and then trying to continue doing whatever they're doing, because it's just going to aggravate their injuries, or if they're bleeding and they try to continue doing whatever, it can end up killing your colonist. Now, Anna is the one with the 14 skill in doctor, so I'm going to put her as our doctor. 14 skill in medical. He has, Emily has a 4, he has a 4, so we're just going to leave the doctoring to Anna. Everybody is going to rest in a bed. This is where, if they have something like if one of them gets food poisoning or they get the flu or something that's not immediately life-threatening, they'll just go and they'll rest in their beds until they're better. Next is the basic category. This is any unskilled, easy tasks. They can flick switches, release prisoners, just normal, mundane stuff. We're going to go ahead and tell them all, hey, it's okay to do your basic things. Now, Warden, I'm really not going to concern myself with at this point because we're not set up to take in prisoners. We're not ready to recruit new colonists or anything along those lines. But if we were, we're going to set our Warden as Anna. Handling. Handling is where we're going to, when we start raising animals, they're going to be the ones that tame them so that we can bring them into a herd or a flock or whatever it may be. It gives you a list right here, and it tells you feed them, slaughter them, milk, shear, tame, and train. We're not going to worry about this because we're not anywhere close to that point yet. Cooking. This is an important one. You never want to give the person who has a skill level of 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 unless you absolutely have no other choice, the role of the cook. Right now, our best cook is Emily, so that's going to be one of her main jobs. Hunting. We're going to give hunting to Lenny. And the reason, because he has a high shooting skill and his average skill is 6. Emily's is an average of 2. Anna won't hunt because she can't do anything violent. So we're going to set him to hunt. We're also going to set him to construct. We're going to have Emily assist him, but on a lower priority. Lenny is going to be our workhorse. He's also going to be doing the mining. Emily, on the other hand, is going to do the harvesting and the planting. And she's also going to be growing. Smithing, tailoring, we're really not going to worry about those things right at the moment. Same thing with art and craft, because right now we're just trying to get set up to survive. Once we got our basics down and once we start really rolling into it, then I'll come back and change those. We're going to set Lenny and Anna to haul things. We're going to set them both to clean things. And Anna is going to be our primary researcher, and we're going to make Emily our backup researcher. Now that we've got the work priorities set, let's close this down and let's take a look at where we're at and what we can do. And honestly, I am not impressed with our starting area at all. Not at all. See, this is mud, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for a rich soil area. The reason I'm looking for that is it will help plants grow faster. And I don't see any. And that's a big uh-oh for me. See, that's stony soil. Okay, so here's some rich soil. So we've got a little bit, and we're just gonna have to make do with what we've got. So this is the area, excuse me, I want to set up in, and there's already a structure right here, ready to rock and roll just for us. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a zone, and it's going to be a stockpile zone. In as bad a shape as we thought. I don't know how I missed that huge chunk of rich soil, but I did. Okay, so that means when we expand, we're going to be expanding up, down, and to the right. So I want to set my stockpile up to be we're going to go ahead and put it right here. And the only reason I'm just going to throw it right here is because I can move it later. Okay, we're going to set this storage up. How do we want to set this up? Okay, for right now, we're just going to leave everything that way. We're going to allow chunks, and what chunks are these little guys right here. Granite, marble, limestone, metal slag, those kinds of things. We are not going to allow corpses, and we do not want to allow rot. We also do not want to allow tainted apparel. And what tainted apparel is it's clothing that is worn by somebody and they die in it. It becomes tainted. We don't really want to allow that in there. We don't want our people wearing it. So other than that, everything else allow. These are flag pants. We're going to allow that. We're going to ask somebody to call that. We're going to allow the bolt action. Actually, you know what? Before we allow the bolt action, we're going to have Lenny equip it because we want him to have the rifle. We're going to allow the class steel knife. We're going to allow all the silver. The silver is what we use as currency. Not the colonists. So all the components we're going to allow. We're going to allow all the medicines. We're going to zoom out a little bit more. Actually. Okay, so we're going to allow all that. We're going to come over here to steel. We're going to allow that. Allow the trees, or lumber, or wood, or whatever you want to call it. And I think that should be just about it. Now I need to remember that there is this ship chunk here that we can deconstruct, and it's going to give us some more steel, and it's going to give us some more components. And periodically those will fall out of the sky and we'll be able to salvage them. Oh look, here's some more steel chunks right over here too. So we're going to make sure that those are allowed. Always make sure you look down, kind of glance over your map because, and here's another ship chunk that's close by. That's good. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now that we've got all that sorted out, now we want beds for everybody. So, furniture, beds. We're going to put, nope, messed that up already. Come on, Razer, get your head in the game. Alright, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3 of those in there. We're going to put a door right there that will close this off. We also need to really focus on getting food going because these packaged survival meals, they're not going to last indefinitely. So we're going to come over here, we're going to go back to zones, and we're going to create a grow zone. So we're going to start the first grow zone right here. We'll make it this big. We're going to click the zone, and we're going to plant rice. And the reason I'm saying to plant rice is because rice is a fast grower. Now we're going to come down here, we're going to go back to zone. We're going to add a second grow zone right here. And we're going to say that this one is going to be corn. And I'm going to add a third one since we've got such a lovely large lot of land. We're going to put it right here, and I'm going to say this one needs to be cotton. Now the reason I'm putting a third one in, and I don't usually do that, but I'm putting a third one in because I'm pre-planning a little bit. So you have 4 seasons in the game. You have summer, you have fall, you have spring, and you have winter. I need to pre-plan for winter because right now we're in spring. In winter, it's going to get cold. The colonists are going to need warm clothes. I can't always guarantee that I'm going to be able to hunt enough skins to be able to make clothes for all of them. So I need a source of something that will allow me to make those clothes for them. And that would be it. Oh, we also started with a Yorkshire Terrier. So you get a pet, and your pet is completely and utterly random. I hadn't figured out what good pets are for, other than eating all of your food. But we got a Yorkshire Terrier. Okay, so now that that's all done, we've got a stockpile, we've got beds that are ready to be constructed, we've got the door, we've got 3 grow zones. that should get us started for now. So we're going to go ahead and hit the number 2 to get them moving. Oh man, we're going to allow the rest of this stuff too. Okay, so I did miss a few little things, but that's okay. Okay, so good, Lenny. You're going ahead, building things for us. Now you can see here he's adding a roof over it, so that protects us from the rain, which will make them miserable and it will decrease their moods. Now, what are you doing, Lenny? Okay, you're grabbing some more wood. It looks like you're going to finish up 2 beds. Awesome. You are the man, Lenny. I don't care what your friends said about you. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Emily? One of them doesn't get along with the other. So you have a plus 26 with him. You have a plus... Well, okay. Okay, so her opinion of Lenny is good right now because even though he gets a negative 15 to her opinion, she likes the fact that they crash together. I don't know. Maybe we could reignite some old feelings? Let's find out. We will definitely have to watch them as time goes on. Okay, so she's already started planting, so what she's doing is she's planting the seeds and she's clearing trees, which is good because that will give us some extra wood to build with. Alright, so I'm going to let them haul things back to the stockpile for just a little bit. That's going to take them some time, which we may end up just leaving that all on Anna because I need to get started on my second stockpile area. So we're going to go here to structure. I'm going to build a wall. Now, I'm not quite sure how I want to go about this. Oh, what the hell, we're just going to go over it. Where does this stockpile end? So right in that tree. Okay. Alright, so this. Up here. This way. And we're going to say right here, and we're going to put the door here. Okay, so Lenny is cutting that tree down so we can clear that path. It is raining and everybody's getting wet and probably miserable. Oh, look at you go, Lenny. Look at you. You are a rock star when it comes to construction. Okay, minor break risk. Lenny. Lenny, what is wrong with you, Lenny? Let's check your needs. Okay. Okay, he's uncomfortable. He's eaten without a table. He's soaking wet. He's been rebuffed by Anna. So he's already put the moves on Anna. Oh my. You do not wait, do you, Lenny? Recreation is unfulfilled. Yes, Lenny, I know. We're going to get to that, I promise. He's in a minor amount of pain. An unsightly environment. And he's greedy for an impressive bedroom. Well, we knew he was going to be like that going in, so we'll just have to deal with it when we can. Alright, so he's, yes, and I know they need a recreation variety, so we're going to go ahead and over here. We're going to grab a horseshoe pin. We're going to put it right here. There. Are you happy, Lenny? I've set it up so that you can, oh, and I know because people are going to yell at me. We're going to go to furniture. We're going to click animal sleeping spot, and we're going to go ahead and put our poor little dog a sleeping spot in the covered area with us. Although he seems to be more intent on sleeping outside right now, and that's probably because I didn't set that up earlier. Please don't hate on me. There's so much stuff that has to get going right off the jump. I just completely forgot about it. Alright, since they're sleeping, we're going to go ahead and speed time up just a little bit. Let them get up and moving. Okay, we've got one already up. They're going to eat. Okay. He's going to eat. Alright, so we're going to slow things down just a tad. And what I want to do is I want to come over here to orders. I want to chop wood. And right now, I just want all that cut. Set that all to be cut. What are you doing? You're going for a walk. Okay, you take that. These guys are all... Alright, so Lenny is going to town. We're going to spruce that area up a bit. Add a floor to it. Put that down in there. Okay, now let's go to furniture. Okay, so what I want is I want a 2x4 table. And we're going to put it... We're gonna rotate it. And we're gonna put it right here. And with the table, we want to add a couple of chairs. Alright. So now they'll have some place to eat once he finishes building it. Right now, I'm just going to use a fuel stove. We're going to set the cooking station up right here. Yes, I know, it's going to have a work speed out penalty because it's outdoors, but that's going to change. And we're going to add a chair right here so that they're more comfortable while they're doing their job. All in all, I've got Lenny pretty loaded down right off the jump. Like a champ, he's just soldiering right on. Okay, he's gonna grab you. Lenny, you get you a bite. You have earned it. You have more than earned it. I don't know why Anna rebuffed you. That's okay. Because Emily's happy to see you, even though you're exes. Probably everybody else's is you have no recreation. So now you can go back and do that. And that is awesome. We're going to get that all knocked out. Okay. Anna is going and hauling the steel that I asked her to haul. She is such a wonderful person. Man, too bad there wasn't a rich growing area close to this, because, man, that would have been phenomenal. What have we got over here at mine? Okay, so, oh good, we've got a source of compacted steel close by, relatively close by. I found more steel that I did not say to be hauled. What? Okay, what are you? You are marble. Over here, it looks like we have more compacted steel. Oh good, we have compacted machinery, which is going to give us components that we're going to need to build the different electronic stuff. I am fine with that. They're sleeping, so we're going to go ahead and speed time up again so we can get through the night. Because, quite frankly, it's not really exciting for them. And look, our little doggie's sleeping inside now. Okay. How are our fields coming along? Okay, so this is looking good. This is looking good. This one's almost finished. This one's a little over halfway done. Need defenses. Yes, I know we need defenses. one thing at a time. And Anna's the first one to play horseshoes. You go, Anna. You'll eventually get better, I promise. Just keep practicing. Oh, thank God we don't have any windows, because she probably would go from it like he's getting our table squared, so now they'll have some place to keep meals at. That is awesome. That is what I like to see. Lenny is just rocking it out. That will be all done. And we're going to ask for that to be hauled out of there because they're going to right complain about it. And Lenny's going to eat him a meal, so now they should be happy. This stuff changes so fast. Okay, so it's going to be about 10 hours before he gets over the fact that he had to have an outdoor picnic. He had disturbed sleep, so wet, darkness. So we're gonna take care of. Oh, he was rebuffed a second time by Anna. Oh man, come on, man! Didn't you learn the first time? Nuzzled. Acute animal nuzzled. Okay. If that makes you happy, my man. If that makes you happy. All right, visitors. Okay. So let's see. A group from Eastern. You know what? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Are visiting the colony. They seem to have a few items to trade. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so we're going to close that. To scroll out. Okay, who has my highest social? Let's see, you've got a 4. Oh, Anna. Yes, ma'am. You are not getting any sleep right now. I want you to go trade. What have you got? Okay, so he's got some pre-packaged survival meals. He only has 5 of those. And you really don't have much. At all. And it's 27 for those. I want to go ahead and pick up the medicine. And we have 800 silver to spend. Take that medicine. Okay. Alright, Anna, go back to bed. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh, well. At least you made yourself at home. It's very nice. So these guys are just going to hang out here for a little while, and then they'll eventually... In fact, it looks like they're leaving now. Yeah. Okay, good. Alright, so now she's going to sit down and have a meal. Everybody is going to... Okay. Let's see. Since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Anna thinks that you should give your faction a name. What should your faction be called? We're going to call our faction RazerEdge is Clueless. And let's see, our settlement name. Realton. We're just going to leave it Realton. Alright. Our faction is now RazerEdge is Clueless, and the community is now known as Realton. That is awesome. And it looks like Anna's doing a little bit of cleaning up, so is Lenny. Okay, so now's where the fun really begins. And that is we need to seriously... Okay, we're going to slow time down just a little bit. We need to seriously start looking at getting food. And that's my timer telling me that I have talked way too long. So, I think we are in a good spot to call this for the day. I'm probably going to record a couple of episodes back to back, just simply because I really want to get this rolling, get it moving, get it going. And I'm hoping you're enjoying watching this. If you're new to the channel, you like what you see, you like the videos, you want to see more of them, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more of this series, please make sure you hit that like button. Also, check out Ono Co-host channel. Mad shout out and props to him because he really helped me get started and get rolling in this game, and I do appreciate how he took the time out of his day to respond to that and really just kind of help me out. So definitely make sure you check out his link in the description to his channel. He does some awesome videos. He's a very funny man. He's Canadian. Please don't hold that against him. Anyway, until next time, guys, I'll catch you guys later.